A new report from the Australian Energy Market Commission suggests wholesale power prices could fall up to 5% over the next 5 years if the rollout of renewable projects continues its pace. Chair of the Australian Energy Market Commission, Anna Collyer, joins me now. Very good morning to you, Anna. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me, Kath.
Now, if you look at this report in the entire timeline, it's a little bittersweet. Prices down 5% over the next 5 years. After that, they skyrocket. If we can just start with up to 2030, what exactly did the report find and why?
So what we find is in the period from now to 2030 that as more renewables come into the system, prices will go down. If we're able to stick to the plan that we have for getting those renewables in, they have an impact on wholesale prices because wind and solar are cheaper than our existing forms of generation from gas and coal.
I was reading one energy consultant doubts that they will fall this much, saying that even though renewables do flow into the system, most is coming from solar, which is only generated throughout the daylight hours. So coal and gas will have to pick up the slack. What's your response to that comment?
So we think it's really important to focus on getting wind into the system, which I think is consistent with the observations that are being made by the consultant. Wind provides diversity. So unlike solar, which, as has been pointed out, comes to an end when the sun goes down, wind can also generate in the evening and throughout the night. So it provides really good diversification and obviously a much cheaper alternative to having to back up during those periods with coal or gas.
So over the next 5 years, if prices for a kilowatt per hour of electricity is projected to ease, will that flow through to bills?
So it really depends very much on how much electricity you use. Of course, like anything, what it costs you depends on what the per unit price is and how much electricity you use. So if there's no change in your consumption, then you could expect that to flow through. One of the other important messages from the report, though, is that people who can electrify, so that's change out their gas appliances for electric, take up an electric vehicle, get solar batteries, there's huge savings to be made there, but that's looking at your overall energy costs. So that's thinking about what you currently spend on electricity, gas and petrol holistically, and that would have a different implication but would save you a lot of money overall.
Electrification, though, can be quite expensive, can it not? Is it an option for everyone? And over what time period would you make those savings?
That's right. You're absolutely right, is that we looked at what the investment needed would be. And for those who can afford it, it's actually quite doable. It pays for itself in between 4 and 7 years, depending on the nature of your investment. But that still leaves a lot of people out. And it's one of our other key messages from the report is we think equity is really important in the energy transition. We don't want to leave customers behind. And so we're calling on policymakers to focus on what more can be done to support customers who can't afford to get solar panels, batteries, etc., who are renting, who are in apartments, who have different circumstances, because it's really critical that we don't leave those customers behind.
Yeah, renting is key, given a third of us in the country rent, and landlords might be a little bit reluctant to make that cost. If we can talk, Anna, about what happens after 2030, it looks like pretty steep hikes. Can you talk us through those and why?
So we're concerned that what we're seeing in the planning and the projections after 2030 is that renewables investment is slowing. And that means that for the demand that we're expecting, we're meeting it more often than we would like to see through coal and gas. So the good news is, or the silver lining is, we've got time. So this is something that we're expecting to emerge in 5 years' time. We know there's a lot of projects in the pipeline, and we've identified in our report where we think the key barriers are to getting those projects into the ground and operating, and we're really calling on policymakers to act. It's nothing new that we're identifying, and in fact the 3 areas are areas where there's already government focus, so again we think that's good. We just want to make sure there is real focus on that by pointing out what the stakes are for customers.
Anna Collyer, thank you very much for your time. It was good of you to join us.
Thanks very much, Kath.